And we're back yet again. Why are we back? Because I'm feeling weird today. Okay, so I realized I want to say maybe like a weekish ago that I once again have been lying to myself um about the fact that I'm like okay with the fact that broski went ghost again. Okay. Um Because the first time it was very much like, oh, you're in denial. Like, you're not hurt. Like, you're fine. You expected this from the beginning. Um, and it's like, yeah, yeah, you know what? I can just find someone else. Like, I don't need him. But this time it was like, I was actually kind of mentally prepared for it, but I was just hoping that it wouldn't happen. Um, which is why it sucks to have realized that, like, I still do want him even after everything. It's so bad though, 'cause like I kind of realized it, um, and then like I spoke with one of my friends who I had not really spoken to, in detail about the whole situation, and they basically like they kind of like I don't okay, 'cause I don't know how much I've talked about like contradictions that I found in his behavior while we were talking the entire time. So, like, okay, let's say that I would say something really nice, um, and then like about like I mean like okay, so like I'd say for example, um, like oh yeah, I wish that we can do that, and then he'd be like, yeah, that would be nice or something. Like he would sometimes say that or like which is God. Okay, so like let's say for example, I said like, "Oh my God, I would love to go to a shopping mall with you and go shopping." He instead of being like, "Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Like I'd love to do that too." He would be like, at least most of the time like, we'll see." Or like 50-50 maybe, which is weird. When we came back, I made a lot of if statements like, "If we ever see each other, we'll watch anime together." Um, And then instead of in his responses being like, when we see each other, we'll watch anime, he'd be like, yeah, if we see each other, it'll be really cool. So he was also continuing with if statements, which isn't a good sign. Um, then there's also like a case of ID, as in like his ID, which sounds like a really weird thing, but like he apparently had like an ID that like doesn't get you accepted everywhere or something. Um, but then like in a different topic of conversation, like um, there was something alluding to that type of ID. I don't fucking like it doesn't make sense trying to explain it, but like basically he made a statement saying that like, oh, I can't do this because I don't have this specific form of ID, and then in another statement he was like, yeah, this specific form of ID, like blah blah blah, and alluded that he did have it, right? I don't know if that made any sense, but whatever. It's not like it matters. Um, and it's stuff like that, or like when I would like, let's say that we don't have a conversation topic, and I would be like, yeah, I mean, like I just watched an episode of an anime, like it's really really good, like I really like it, and I wouldn't explain anything about it in the hopes that he would ask like, "Oh, what show are you watching or whatever?" Because like that's what you do, especially if you don't have a conversation, you try and find a conversation topic. He just wouldn't take that opportunity. Like he would just be like, "Oh yeah, I mean like I'm just like at the gym right now or something like that, you know." Um, and it's like not taking opportunities like that. Another thing with opportunities is me being like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do this activity with my friends this year, technically last year during summer, but it didn't work out. Like, I hope I'm gonna have someone to do it with this year. Um, and instead of him not like he didn't take the bait, he wasn't like, oh yeah, I'll do it with you this summer. He was just like, "Oh yeah, this is what I would want to do at this place." Um, and it's like you could have taken the bait. You should have taken the bait. It's there, literally right there. Um, it's small things like that where I've noticed contradictions, even while messaging, not even just like a hindsight thing. Like while I was messaging, I was sat there like, he used an if statement, not a when statement. So it's really small things, but like when added together, it kind of makes you like question if he ever wanted anything to begin with, right? And I also don't know if I mentioned on here, but like we're still on Hinge first of all, because I asked him last time if we can get off it, then we got off it. Um, but then this time I was like, I'm waiting for you to ask me, because if you ask me, then clearly that means you're like actually serious. And he never asked me, which is like weird, but it's whatever. Um, so yeah, like when during our phase one, he never changed a single detail on his profile. Then during my dark ages, when he wasn't responding, still not a single change. Then he came back to me and he started semi-regularly changing his profile. So I'm like, are you like trying to impress the other bitches? Haha, jokingly, obviously. I don't think women are bitches. I say it, haha, funny. Um, and then he was like, I'm only trying to impress you, blah blah blah. But like now, when he went ghost again, he's not changed a single detail. Again. And I'm just like, what are you? What's the end game? Like, because in my brain, my current theory is that he is wherever he is. And he maybe has like an on and off girlfriend and they two are like maybe a little toxic together or something. Um, so they get together, then they fall apart, and then he comes back to me, and then they get back together, and then he'll come back to me. Right? That's what I'm thinking is probably the most like likely situation to be going on, because I don't understand what else would like make this much sense. I don't know. Just feels very very weird. Um, but yeah, I I changed because my Hinge profile. I'm not bothered with romance. It's still paused. He's my only match on there. I used to have a guy that I went on one date with, but then I'm pretty sure he's uninstalled Hinge now because he got a girlfriend. So congrats to him. We're friends now. So well, we were friends after the first date because I friends with him. Sorry about that, mate. But I'm happy for him, and I'm pretty sure that's why like his account match thing is gone. So it really is just Broski that I have on that account. Um, and I decided to turn my Hinge into like a Twitter type thing where like I change the prompts and I change the photos and I just say wacky outlandish things that I don't really say anywhere else, or like I put small little traces or trains of thought onto there. And then it's like if he ever logs back onto the account or whatever the fuck, it'll be there. He'll be there. And that'll like he'll see my account and be like, "Oh wow. Oh wow, so shit's gone down." I don't know. I think it's funny. I also I would also find it really funny if he's like going on that app like every day and like being like, "Oh, what's Amelia changed on her profile this day?" Like, I don't know. I just find it really funny, but it's whatever. Um, and yeah, like part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is because yesterday I went and did something with my friends. We like went to a bar and then like there was this guy and he approached one of my friends first and they seemed to be kind of like semi getting along. And then my friend was like, let me just turn back and talk to my friends. So then he left and he walked over to me and my other friend who were sitting talking to each other, and he started talking to us. And again with that same like flirty vibe. Um, Long story short, I got his Instagram. We like, because some of our friends had to go home a bit earlier. I had to wait a while for like my transport home to be like, you know, um, and like all this time, like he like came outside after we'd left and stuff like that. And then we see each other in the street and we're like, oh my God, coincidence running into you here. Um, and we ended up talking, and the things we talked about, it wasn't anything deep or like getting to know each other levels. It was just like hardcore flirting vibes, right? Um, and he very weird vibe from this guy from the beginning, okay? Like when he was talking to my friend, he made like, I can't remember exactly what my friend said it was, but it was like a comment about like trans people or something said in like a questionable way, right? Where it's like this could be a perfectly normal comment so long as you didn't phrase it in the way that you did, right? Plus the fact that he went and flirted with our entire friend group. Um, the fact that because I wanted to see if he like would would do it if I asked him, and I asked him like, would you do the 18 plus test if you know, you know, the stoplight test, if you will, as some people might know it. I don't like the four-letter acronym test to do with relations, shall we say. And I was like, you have those results? And he was like, oh no, I did it 3 years ago. And I'm like, go and do it now. So so he went and did it, and then his results were skewed very, very weirdly. It's like everything, and because he did both of the categories combined, he didn't just choose that he was one preference over another. Um, he chose both the categories combined, and just about everything was above 70%, or no, just about everything was above like 60%. And then like number one was like, I feel weird saying the word, but like DOM. That was his number one with 100%, despite before I even asked him. Actually, no, I asked him to do the thing, and he basically said, oh, well, I'm an S, like not a SUV, but an SWITCH. I don't know why I'm so icky about saying the words. Like, I can say the words, but I just don't particularly want to right now, I guess. But yeah, that was. So he said he's an SWITCH, and then comes back with DOM 100%. And then I can't remember what his SUB was, but it wasn't very high considering the fact that he was allegedly an SWITCH. You know what I mean? So very, very interesting. Um, and then and then he messaged me at like 5 o'clock in the morning, being like, "Yo, you looking to be called up blank blank, like in my bed or something." What is blank blank? Well, D asterisk 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 asterisk. God, that's so hard to say. Space S asterisk asterisk asterisk. He censored the words dirty and SLUT. He censored it. Anyway, that was like, why the fuck are you censoring it? And I messaged quite literally, bro, censor dirty, that word, skull emoji, say it with chest, um, or like just say it with chest, whatever. And then he messaged against being like, oh, I'm just trying to like protect my image, but don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna be like easy or anything. Um, and then he was, well, I made like an if statement to him, and then he was like, oh, it won't be a very big if, I promise that. Right? But like, just the vibes are so off. No one in the friendship, like my friendship group, really likes him. And I'm just kind of entertaining it for now. Because, like, I don't know what to do. I don't really like him because he feels a little bit icky. And everyone in the friendship group feels that way. Like, I don't want to be getting together permanently with someone who, when the first day I met them, went and flirted with the entire friendship group, bar the only man there. Like, it's weird. But I got a bit of gum and like a chupa chups or whatever, how the fuck it's pronounced, lollipop out of it. So that's fun. Very fun. Because he was like, oh, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking while we were like walking around yesterday. And I was like, I need incentive because why would I tell him like something, not personal necessarily, but like something that I'm not wanting to say immediately. So I was like, give me incentive. Um, and then it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that serious. So I just took it anyway. And then obviously kept to my end of the bargain. Not that I think he would really care too much, but it's fine. It's whatever. But like that's why I'm on here as well. Because all of that happened yesterday. It's not even been like a full 24 hours, I don't think. Um, and I got that message, the last one that I talked about, where it's like it won't be a big if. Um, and then I was kind of like, because yesterday while we were walking, I kept like being really fucking mean to him in like that kind of flirty, but like there's definitely some major truth hidden in my statements as well. Like you could tell that I was kind of like being flirty, but I was just also genuinely being a bitch at some points because I just think they remember saying one statement where he was just like talking, and I was like, "Do you have any opinions of your own? Because you seem to just constantly be agreeing with everything I'm saying." And I basically said in that tone as well, where it's like it wasn't very joking at all. And I was like, oh my god, like I'm just constantly berating you. And he's like, yeah, well, maybe I'm into that. And I'm like, girl, what? So brazen. Um, but yeah, I got that last message, and I was like, oh yeah, because that relates back to how I was berating him last night and everything, because he would try and like flirt or like make up pickup lines or say pickup lines or something, and I'd be like, unoriginal, that's shit, your delivery needs work, oh, that verbiage is not great, really big turn off. Um, and then he sent me that message about big if, um, and I was like, the verbiage in this is slightly off. Let me go and look at some good verbiage. And I went and read through messages of that nature that Broski and I had sent each other on Christmas Eve, right? Because we had done that for a little bit on Christmas Eve. And I went and read through the whole thing because I have a screen recording of it, because that was arguably one of our best quote unquote sessions of that nature that we did. And I read through it and I was like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. And like, it just makes me wonder what I actually want from Broski. Most obvious choice, I want him to just come back and like just fall in love with me properly so that we can be together because we really seem to vibe. But then that brings up the point that my friend from earlier, who I said that we'd never talked about this before, had said, and it felt, at least in their eyes, that I was more so talking at him than talking with him, kind of, where it's like Broski, seemed to be dismissing a lot of like, not dismissing a lot of like opinions and feelings, but maybe just like downplaying them, kind of, which makes sense because that's what he does with his own feelings. Like he just like pretends almost that problems don't exist a little bit. Um, if like a conversation were to ever get too deep, he'd be like, "Ah, it's fine, it's whatever." And I'm like, "Is it though? Is it though?" So it makes sense that he would instinctively do that for me, like in my issues, because that's how he copes with his own issues. But like right now my brain is split four ways predominantly for four options to do. We've got option one, which is if he doesn't message back by the 2 month mark, writing out everything, every contradiction, every piece of hatred, every piece of vitriol in like an essay and sending it to him, being like, unmatch me when you read this, goodbye forever. That's option one because it gets all my feelings out in the open, but I also don't think that I would want him to just like unmatch right then and there. Like, I think I would want to have like a discussion about it as well. So I guess that can be counted as option five. So like send that and then have a discussion about things. Um, got option two, which is like at the month and a half ish, or like if he messages back before the 2 months um of ghosting, just tell him that like come to my like city where I live, my town, um so that we can like talk properly face to face because that requires actual effort. um then we also have like option three, which is sending the massive paragraph, um and then just like getting like a friend or something to check over what he says and telling me if it's worth it to even go at this again. Um, then option four, um, taking him back, but not as a third chance, purely just as a texting partner, as just like someone to have flirty texts of that nature, if that makes sense, because he's a very good texting partner, I'll tell you that. But yeah, those are my like options right now, and I don't know where my mind sits with any of it. Because right now, right this moment, I want option four. I want him right now so that we can do a little bit of texting online. But that's me right now. Like, me right now and me from 2 days ago do not think the same. Like, my emotions and feelings on situations tend to fluctuate a lot, which is why like I have a hard time making decisions. Um, even like minor ones, it can take me like a while just to decide if I'm gonna walk my friend home or if I'm gonna go up my way to go home, you know? Um, and it also doesn't help that it feels like we matched really, really well, apart from like all of the intimate stuff. just like we had similar personalities, like similar things that we wanted in life almost. Um, but yeah, I just don't know if he ever wanted me. That's the thing, is like, did he use me for an ego boost yet again? And then if he does this again, is he gonna use me as an ego boost all over again, right? And then I also don't know what to do about this new guy, because he gives incel fuckboy vibes a little bit, and he's also not great at texting, so I don't know. He keeps like leaving me on red for like a little bit and then coming back to message again, and I'm like, girl, what? Like, just reply to the thing. Why do you need to leave me on red for a bit? But it's weird. It's weird because it's like, in theory, I have this replacement with this new guy, but then I also want broski still. And it sucks that I want broski, but like, this is just like the kind of person I am, where I don't tend to click and resonate with many people, and I like my dating pool is not as big as someone else's, let's say, because someone else might just want like someone who likes to go clubbing and is like a party animal, um and is chivalrous, right? Just as a general, it's like, okay, so you can then go to those environments and find a shit ton of people who at the very least meet like half of those requirements. My requirements are a lot more like set in stone, kind of, where it's like, I want someone very, very similar to me. Like, I want someone with similar mannerisms, similar ways of talking to a certain degree, like, um obviously, like, similar preferences in terms of like bedroom, or aligning preferences, not necessarily similar. Um, like, I want to be treated well. I want to be like taken care of, and then I'll take care of the other person back. Like, I want to be heard in a relationship and comforted. Um, and like, it sounds like I'm listing really generic things, but there's a lot of like subsections in that genericism. That's not really a word, is it? In that genericness, um, that I can't put into words, and it's more so just a feeling. It's like, I'm not friends with a shit ton of people because most normal people, most normies, if you will, like, we just don't vibe. Like we can get along, yes, but like, for me to be true proper friends with someone, there needs to be like an air of insanity almost, where like, you need to be equally as crazy as I am. Otherwise, like, I just won't really like you that much, I guess. Not in like a mean way, but just in the case of like, I won't want to pour my energy and like specifically take time out of my day to engage with you if you're not batshit crazy. So yeah, it's a very, very weird situation, all of this. Um, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about everything tomorrow. Most definitely won't be recording until at the very least Wednesday again, because I'm going away for a couple of days um with my friend, and I don't even know if I want to speak again on Thursday, but I'll probably try to, and I'll see if I'm feeling any more certain on any aspects of the situation. I need to stop talking so much. Okay, bye bye.